evening to all the aspirants. My name is Sumeet and today I am going to take a session on current affairs. Current affairs forms one of the most important topics for preparation of any government exams, be it UPSC, KPSC or PSI, PC level, all those examinations. So from today we will start a session on current affairs, and current affairs related thing which I will be touching upon is purely for the first week of June. Is that clear? Okay, so let us proceed. So the first issue which I would like to get your notice on is about the monsoons. This year the monsoons have reached early to our subcontinent, the Indian subcontinent. Okay, so what is the reason behind that? That we will study in this session, right? So generally monsoons, they take place from June. It starts from June to September. This is the period of monsoons, and the timing of onset of monsoon is generally considered to be 1st June. 1st of June is the duration of monsoon. 1st June plus or minus 7 days. It can be early by 7 days or late by 7 days. That is what the IMD says. The IMD as in the Indian Meteorological Department. It is an organization which has been given the task of looking at the monsoons and forecasting it. So monsoons, as per the IMD, the monsoon this time has made an early onset, and the IMDb has told that the onset of monsoons has begun on 24th of May. 24th of May. Instead of coming by 1st of June, the IMDb has said that this year the monsoon has reached the subcontinent on 24th of May. There are multiple reasons behind that. For that, let us try and understand the entire picture of monsoons, right? What are the forces that make monsoon get into the subcontinent of India? Let us look into that. The forces which generally decide the onset of monsoon are the first one is Madden-Julian oscillation. Madden-Julian oscillation. The second one is the ENSO. ENSO. ENSO as in El Nino Southern Oscillation. Southern Oscillation. And the third most important aspect is about the Indian dipole. Indian dipole. The last important factor is Somalian jet stream. These are the four major factors which decide the onset of monsoons. And this year, the IMDb has said that the early onset of monsoon is due to the two reasons. One is the Madden-Julian oscillation and the other one is Somalian jet stream. So let us understand what these phenomena are, natural phenomena. First, let us look into Julian-Madden oscillation. So what is this Julian-Madden oscillation? Julian-Madden oscillation is an atmospheric phenomenon, right? It generally takes place in the tropical region of our globe. When I use the word tropical region, you will have to understand that this is the equator at the center, and then at 23.5 degrees north we have Tropic of Cancer. Then in the 23.5 degrees south we have Tropic of Capricorn, and the region which falls between these lines are called as tropical region. Tropical region. So in this part of our globe, there is an atmospheric circulation which is called as Madden-Julian oscillation. So it is such a phenomenon that it generally, the duration of this oscillation is 30 to 90 days. 30 to 90 days. And in this specific phenomenon, it splits the globe into two halves. This particular phenomenon, what it does is that it splits the entire globe into two halves. In one half, there are dry winds, and in the other half, there are wet winds. What do you understand by this word? It means that one half of the earth is deprived from rain. The one half of the earth, it is deprived from the rain. The second half, or the second part, whichever the part where there is wet winds, where there is a flow of wet winds, that part we generally get a lot of monsoon rains. Not only monsoon, but we get a lot of rains in that part, right? So fortunately this year, the entire Indian subcontinent was under the influence of wet winds, right? So these Madden-Julian oscillation has contributed to the early onset of monsoons. This is point number one. Now let us look at another point. The second point which I told you has contributed to the early onset of monsoon is Somalian jet stream. Somalian jet stream. Somalian jet stream is nothing but it is a very strong flow of air in the upper part of our atmosphere. Is that understood? In the upper part of our atmosphere, we have jet streams which flow in one particular direction. And this Somalian jet stream, it flows from west to east. It flows from west to east. If this is the globe, there is this Somalian jet stream which generally flows from west to east. And this jet stream, it is concentrated in the upper part of our atmosphere. It doesn't flow at the ground level, but it flows in the upper part of our atmosphere. So this jet stream, what it actually did is that it helped the flow of moist winds into the Indian subcontinent. And this jet stream, this has pushed the monsoon system, the moist winds of monsoon system into the subcontinent of India. And that is also the reason why we have had an onset of monsoons quite early. Is that understood? So the IMDb as well as many weather scientists have already told that this year the early onset of monsoon is mainly due to two reasons. One is, as I've already told you, it is due to the Madden-Julian oscillation, point number one. Point number two is about the Somalian jet stream. So these two important factors have influenced the onset of monsoons. As you can see in this map, by 24th May, this line which is passing through the southern part of India, right? On 24th Jan, the monsoon had already reached to the interiors of our peninsula. But the regular timing of these monsoon onset is generally believed to be 1st of June. By 1st of June, it should have actually been here, right? This is its usual route. But this year, since we have had an early onset of monsoon, the monsoon has already penetrated into the interior parts of our country, right? So the main reason being Madden-Julian oscillation and the Somalian jet stream, right? So this is another important point which I think you will have to keep this in your mind for from your exams perspective. You might get a question on this asking what were the reasons for the early onset of monsoon this year. If you get a question like this, you should tick mark the correct option, which is the option which contains the Madden-Julian oscillation and or the Somalian jet stream in them should be the correct answer for such kind of questions. Is that understood? Right. Now let us get into the second most important topic in the first week of June, and that is census. Let us talk about census. So census is actually carried once in 10 years. Once in 10 years. Once in 10 years. So this census, what is census? Census is nothing but it is an act or an activity of measuring the total population of our country, right? So it is an act or it is an activity where the total number, the number of population, the enumeration of the population is actually made, right? So the last census which was held was in the year 2011. 2011 was the last year when we held our own census. So after that, after the gap of 10 years, legally, after the gap of 10 years, the census was supposed to be held in the year 2021. 2021. I hope you guys are aware that in the year 2021, we were undergoing a huge pandemic crisis due to COVID-19. Due to COVID-19, we could not conduct the census in the year 2021, right? So that is the reason why we did not conduct the census as per the schedule. So we had to stop this, we had to discontinue this census in that year, and now as per the order which has been passed by the government, it has been decided that census will be conducted again in the year 2027. It will be conducted in two phases. The first phase starts from 2026 October and the second phase will be continued till March 1st of 2027. This is what has been expressed by the government order, right? So this is point number one. Now let us look at point number two. There are some changes which have been inculcated into this year's census. First one is that it will be held electronically. Electronically. What do you understand by this word? It means earlier all the census enumerators, they used to record all the observations with the help of paper and pen. There were no electronic equipments involved in this activity, but however now the government has implemented this electronic solution into this time census. So in this census, the enumeration will be conducted through mobile phones as well as tabs, which will be provided by the government. Is that understood? Is that clear? That is what point number one is. The point number two, the second point is, from this year we will be also enumerating castes. We will also be counting the castes. Is that understood? We had actually had this provision of enumerating castes earlier in our census, but however since 1931 we had discontinued this and we had only enumerated SC/STs. From 1931 we had this provision of enumerating only the SC/STs, but after this in the upcoming census, which is on 2026-27, we have implemented enumeration of castes. These are the two important changes which have been brought to our notice by the government. Now let us look into another fact. Who conducts this census? Every decadal census. So the responsibility of conducting the decadal census actually falls on a Registrar General. Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India. So this is the person who is responsible for conducting the census in India. Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India. This is the individual, this is the authority, and this authority comes under Ministry of Home Affairs. Ministry of Home Affairs. So this is the nodal authority. This is the nodal authority to conduct census in India. That is point number 2. Now let us look at point number 3. So this census, the entire activity or this entire procedure of census is backed by a statutory law. And which law is that? It is nothing but Census Law. Census Act of 1948. This is that statutory backing, this is that statutory law which gives power to conduct the census in India. That is point number. The next point is that, let us look at point number 4. The fourth point, according to this fourth point, what you will have to keep in your mind is that the census is conducted, should be conducted based on census rules, which was again passed, decided or implemented in the year 1990. The census has to be conducted according to the census rules of 1990. This is what you will have to keep in your mind. Is that understood? I hope that it is clear. Now let us look at another issue which has been actually doing a lot of rounds. Okay, Ramsar Convention, right? Ramsar Convention. So let us first try and understand what this Ramsar Convention is. Ramsar Convention is a treaty, or it is a convention where it is implemented to protect and preserve wetlands. When I use the word wetlands, what do you understand by that? The word wet itself should give you an indication that it is related to the water bodies. When I use the word water bodies, you will have to keep in your mind, this convention doesn't concern the seas, oceans or the rivers. It only concerns lakes, ponds, marshes, etc. Right? These are the wetlands, right? So this Ramsar Convention, it aims to protect and preserve the wetlands in the entire earth, in the entire global, right? As we know, all these lakes and ponds, they have been, they have been sites of a lot of pollution. In order to stop that, and preserve and protect the wetland areas of our globe, this Ramsar Convention was brought into life, right? So this Ramsar Convention was actually signed in the year 1971, was passed in the year 1971 in a place called as Ramsar. Ramsar is a place which is present in the country of Iran. In the year 1971 in Iran, this convention was passed for the first time. And India, when did India join this convention? This convention was joined by India in the year 1982. So India signed this convention on 1st February 1982. By signing this convention, India became a party to this convention. Now recently, Ramsar has awarded designated wetland. There are 2 designated wetlands in India which have won the status of Ramsar sites. Which are those? Those 2 areas are Menar. This is area number 1, and the other one is Khichen. These are the 2 important sites which have gained the recognition of Ramsar sites in India. And both these places, wetlands are present in the state of Rajasthan. Please keep in your mind, both these areas are present in this present day state of Rajasthan. Rajasthan. Okay, now let us look into some important facts about this Ramsar Convention, right? So, the first sites in India to gain the recognition of Ramsar sites are, first one is Chilka Lake. Chilka Lake. The other one is Keoladio National Park. So these are the two important wetland sites which had gained the recognition of Ramsar sites for the first time in our country, and they had gained this status in the year 1981. Please keep this thing in your mind. Where is Chilka Lake? Chilka Lake is a very famous wetland which is present in the state of Odisha. Odisha, present day Odisha. And Keoladio National Park is present in the state of Rajasthan. With this recognition, India gained the first sites of Ramsar Convention. That is point number one. Now let us look at point number two. How many sites are there in India with respect to the Ramsar Convention? Let us look into that. You will be shocked to know the fact that India has some of the highest number of sites in the world, Ramsar sites in the world. So India totally has 91 sites under Ramsar Convention, and this is the third highest number, which means, the point you should understand is that India is one among the top 3 countries in which there are a very high number of Ramsar sites. Is that understood? There are 91 Ramsar sites in India, which is the third highest. So the first country with highest number of Ramsar sites is United Kingdom. The second highest is Mexico. The second highest is Mexico, right? India has 91 sites, which is the third highest presently in the world. And the first highest belongs to the United Kingdom, and the second highest number of Ramsar sites, any country which has the second highest number of Ramsar sites is Mexico, right? So now in these 91 sites, which are those states which have highest number of Ramsar sites? Let us look into that. Presently, Tamil Nadu has 20 Ramsar sites. After Tamil Nadu, so that means Tamil Nadu in India has the highest number of Ramsar sites. So the second state with the highest number of Ramsar sites, that privilege goes to the state of Uttar Pradesh. So these are the two states, and in Uttar Pradesh we actually have 10 Ramsar sites. So these are the states who respectively have a very high count of Ramsar sites in their vicinities. Is that understood? Right. Let us go to the next topic. Recently, I hope you guys are aware that Ladakh, which was earlier a part of the United State of Jammu and Kashmir, it was a part of United State of Jammu and Kashmir, but however, in the year 2019, the entire Article 370 was abrogated. So after the abrogation of Article 370, the state of Jammu Kashmir was relegated to being a union territory, and it was split into two divisions. The first one is Jammu and Kashmir, and the other one is the union territory of Ladakh. So after 2019, due to some governance problems, the locals of Ladakh, they had started protesting against the provisions of the abrogation of Article 370, and there was a very great environmentalist called as Sonam Wangchuk, who was the leader of these protests. In that protest, they had made many number of demands which the central government has taken into consideration, and by taking all those protests into consideration, the Government of India on 3rd June to be very precise had launched a new regulations for the Union Territory of Ladakh. Now let us look at those regulations. The regulation is point number 1. The point number says that domicile. What do you understand by this word domicile? Domicile is a legal word which says that if any resident, now how will you be considered as a native to that state? You will only be considered as a native of that state if you have domicile rights. So according to this regulation which has been passed by the central government, whoever gets the domicile in the Union Territory of Ladakh will be considered a native of that state. So keeping that in mind, the rules for gaining domicility of Ladakh, the rules of gaining the domicility of Ladakh has been framed by the central government. Is that understood? So according to that rule, anyone who stays over there for 15 years will be considered as a domicile of Ladakh. Now, why is this necessary? Why should anyone have this status of domicility in Ladakh? The major and important consequence of that is point number 2. According to the regulation passed by the central government, there are 85% of jobs are reserved for the people of Ladakh alone. For the people of Ladakh alone, which means any person who is a domicile of Ladakh, he will gain employment in Ladakh administration. 85% of them will get reservations for jobs in the government jobs which are generated in the region of Ladakh, right? So this is the second consequence of this domicility. That is why domicility is of utmost importance in the region of Ladakh. And the third regulation is also an important regulation. According to that regulation, one third of seats in the Ladakh Autonomous Council, Administrative Council. There are councils. These are the councils which are formed for the administration of Ladakh. So the Ladakh Autonomous Administrative Council, which is an administrative body which is present in the Union Territory of Ladakh, in that body, one third of seats will be reserved for women. RESERVED, reserved for women. That is point number 3. Now let us look at point number 4. Point number 4 says that the languages of Hindi, English, Urdu, Purgi will be recognized as official languages of the Union Territory of Ladakh. Is that understood? Lahoti. There is also another language called as Lahoti. So these are the languages which will gain the status of official languages in the Union Territory of Ladakh. Why is this provision added? This provision is added to promote the local language and regional language of Ladakh, which is Purgi and Lahoti. Is that clear? I hope that it is very clear now. Now let us look into the next topic. The next topic concerns the opening of Chenab Bridge. Chenab Bridge. This bridge is also called as Udhampur Srinagar Baramulla rail link, which is Udhampur Srinagar Baramulla rail link. So this bridge has recently been inaugurated by the Prime Minister of our country, and this, it is a matter of proud for all of us Indians that this bridge which you are seeing on your screen is today considered as the tallest bridge in the world. It stands at the height of 359 meters. 359 meters. It is taller than the Eiffel Tower, right? I hope you guys are getting my point. This bridge is taller than the entire Tower of Eiffel, which is situated in Paris. So this structure over here is the tallest bridge in the world. Is that understood? And that has been constructed by India. Okay. So this bridge, the distance between both the sides of this bridge is 1315 meters. This bridge is almost more than 1 kilometer longer. Is that understood? Yes. So let us look into the next point. And this project is executed by Konkan Railway. Konkan Railway. Konkan Railway. And this bridge, it can withstand an earthquake of magnitude of 8 Richter scale. 8 Richter scale. I think earthquakes are generally measured by the Richter scale, right? So any earthquake which is in the range of 8 will be sustained or managed by the bridge. The bridge won't face any harm if there is an earthquake of magnitude of 8 Richter scale. Is that understood? And this bridge can withstand wind speeds of up to 226 kilometers per hour. That is the strength of this bridge, and it is guaranteed that the life of this bridge is 120 years. 120 years. And the maximum speed with which the trains traveling over this bridge can have 100 kilometers per hour. This is the maximum speed at which the trains can travel in that bridge. Is that understood? So this is one of the most important points for this month's June issue. Okay, so recently we also celebrated the World Environment Day, right? The World Environment Day is celebrated on 5th of June of every year. And this year, who celebrates this? This is actually celebrated by the United Nations. And why do we celebrate this? We celebrate this to create the awareness about our environment, to have the awareness and to also protect and nurture our environment. To achieve these aims, we celebrate World Environment Day year on year, and it is specifically promoted and celebrated by the United Nations. So this year, this World Environment Day was officially celebrated in a place called as Jeju, which is situated in South Korea. Is that understood? So it is this place where officially the World Environment Day was celebrated. And again, the other most important point to remember from exam perspective is that this year the theme of this World Environment Day was beat plastic pollution. Beat plastic pollution. So this year's theme of World Environment Day was beat plastic pollution. So this year's theme was primarily focused on plastic pollution, right? Plastic pollution, as you guys are very well aware, it is harming our environment. It has been infiltrated in our water bodies, which we use for drinking and many other purposes. It has also penetrated our foods. Many scientists and many reports have revealed a shocking fact that plastics, specifically microplastics, they are entering human bodies, and they are also the reason why we are getting a lot of blocks in our veins. Is that understood? So this is not only restricted to the human life, but also all our marine life, our forest life, all these are getting affected by animals, flora, fauna, all these are getting affected by plastic pollution. So in order to combat this plastic pollution, the World Environment Day this year, this time around, has focused on beating the plastic pollution. Is that understood? This is also very important point with respect to your examinations, right? So this is it. That's it. So this ends my session, and I will make sure that I'll get back again in the next session with upcoming current affair videos. Thank you so much for being a part of this session. Thank you for watching Classic Education. Thank you.